Hello and welcome to GameSpot's Year in Review 2014. So it turned out to be quite the interesting 12 months in the world of video games. We had 2 new consoles desperate for new releases, a third one struggling to sell, and ravenous gamers looking for hot releases on all 3. So let's get to it. Here are the biggest games and industry trends of 2014.
As usual, January was quite the quiet time for new releases, but we did get the wonderful Ollie Ollie, free-to-play shooter Loadout, and Act 1 of the fantastically successful Double Fine Kickstarter, Broken Age. Another game released in January was Nidhogg, a charming 1v1 sword dueling game, which was ideal for local multiplayer. In fact, with Samurai Gun released just a month earlier, Towerfall making its non-Ouya debut in March, and Gang Beast being picked up by Double Fine, 2014 gave you more reasons than ever to hook up your PC to your television, something Mary has plenty of experience with.
More so than other years, 2014 was the year for couch co-op because we had Nidhogg, Towerfall, Gang Beasts. I mean, that's even more insane. You're talking about a game like Nidhogg, which is one-on-one, and you're facing up to your opponent, talking trash, and either one of you is going to live or die. And then you have this ridiculous Gang Beast where it's just pandemonium. It elicits so much camaraderie between the team, between everyone, between friends, and it's not just the love of the game, it's the hatred for the people that you play with. Man, Gang Beast really elicits rage. And what's so funny about it is that even though you get excited, you get scared, you get hella mad, but you also laugh a lot. People's reactions when they die or they meant to do something and they totally screwed up is really funny. And there's nothing better than seeing someone talk a lot of trash and then totally suck.
February gave us the best JRPG in years, Bravely Default, the bizarre Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare, and the long-awaited invasion of World of Tanks onto consoles. Sadly, it was also the month that Ken Levine announced he was closing Irrational Games, creators of BioShock, Freedom Force and System Shock. But while we said farewell to one gaming legend, we welcome back many more. Lightning returned along with Garrett, Danky Kang, Gabriel Belmont, and of course the Chicken Chaser. In fact, Fable Anniversary was one of many games part of a new trend, the reissue. 2014 was not short of these. In fact, there were so many of them that we had to give them their very own category in our Game of the Year awards.
So when we were thinking about categories for this year, it became pretty obvious that we needed something in the reissue category. Now, what do we mean by reissues? If you look at something like The Last of Us, that certainly would qualify for this category because it's all the existing game, just with better graphics, a higher frame rate, just a more encompassing package. But if you look at something like GTA, it does bring better graphics to the table, but it also brings something else. It brings a completely new way to play the game in the first-person perspective. That completely changes the game. And so, it's partly about graphics, it's partly about value. There are a lot of great packages, Diablo 3 springs to mind in terms of bringing it all together in a really great value package. Think way back, something like the Orange Box on previous generations. That would be something I would consider to be a great reissue. And so we wanted to do something that wasn't just about a port, it wasn't just about better graphics, it was about something that really makes the reissue of a game stand out.
Kept you waiting, huh?
March is when Video Games 2014 really kicked into gear. It gave us the best South Park game ever made, The Stick of Truth. There was Yoshi's New Island, Luftrausers, Infamous Second Son, and Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes. It also saw the official release of Hearthstone, Blizzard's free-to-play card game which has become increasingly popular ever since, and Microsoft's exclusive online FPS, Titanfall.
March 25th saw the first of several big money game industry acquisitions when Facebook picked up virtual reality company Oculus for a tidy $2 billion big ones.
Worth the investment, GameSpot's video producer Jeremy Jane has been toying around with these super expensive goggles all year, so let's ask him.
So my personal game of the year for 2014 was the Oculus Rift, which I know is not a game, but it's just such an all-encompassing, fantastic, futuristic experience. And I'd have to say the 2 experiences that, sold me the most on this experience were Alien Isolation or Elite Dangerous. Both put you in the position of this first-person simulation of someone in a stressful combat scenario, and both make you feel like you're actually in a stressful combat scenario. Just being able to look left, right, down, up, whatever, and being able to have the world drawn in front of you where you can just react to things as you would with your body without having to move joysticks on a controller, without having to follow action with a mouse and keyboard. You can just look, and if a ship flies by you, you look at where it's gone. And if an alien is threatening you from outside of a locker, you look through the slats and you move and try to dodge and get out of people's line of sights. And yeah, I'm just utterly convinced that this is the future, man.
April 1st saw the release of Goat Simulator, a wonderfully dumb game which dominated the Steam charts for a number of weeks and has been well supported ever since. We also got MLB 14 The Show, The Elder Scrolls Online, Trials Fusion and Child of Light. PAX East got everyone's mouths watering for E3 in June, but not before another month of hot releases. Mario Golf World Tour landed on May 2nd, followed by Peggle 2. There was a surprisingly awesome Wolfenstein game, the wonderful Transistor, the tremendous Mario Kart 8, and a rather disappointing Watch Dogs. No time to dwell on it though. June 10th kickstarted the most exciting week of the year as the entire game industry made their annual pilgrimage to Los Angeles for E3, the Electronic Entertainment Expo.
And after the war, it was E3 2013, it was fair to say the gloves were off.
But June had some games of its own too. We had Tomodachi Life, EA Sports UFC, Outlast, Grid Autosport, and Valiant Hearts: The Great War. 1001 Spikes was cruel, but not as cruel as Murdered Soul Suspect, which failed to save airtight games. But there were a bunch of outstanding games released in June. Shovel Knight came to 3DS, Wii U and PC, and of course Divinity: Original Sin. EA shut down online support for more than 50 multiplayer games, much to the chagrin of the internets. Nordic Games acquired the publishing label of THQ, while Crytek USA and Crytek UK, previously known as Free Radical, were sadly shut down. July is when the games start to slow down for a little while. It makes sense, the sun is out, people are on vacation, it's a time to relax. Unless you really want to murder Nazis in North Africa, or have generations of knights explore a haunted castle.
Alright folks, we're halfway there. Well, July was also the month that Activision finally pulled the knife out of Neversoft, merging in wholesale with Infinity Ward, and a bunch of folks in a room in QuakeCon are still the only people to have seen footage of Doom 4.
August was suitably light on releases too. Ho Ho Come, Counter Spy, an expansion pack for infamous Second Son, First Light. It was a month for business though. EA launched subscription service EA Access for Xbox One, Amazon bought Twitch for a tidy $970 million, Nintendo announced the 3DS XL, and Activision revived one of the most fondly remembered brands in games, Sierra Entertainment. A new King's Quest is already in the works. Big money deals kept it coming in September too, and this one was a bit of a shock. Swedish developer and all-round good guy Margus Notch Persson sold his magnum opus Minecraft to Microsoft for an incredible $2.5 billion. Those indie games, eh? September also gave us the release of Sims 4, Velocity 2X, Destiny, NHL 15, FIFA 15, a new version of Gauntlet, Phoenix Rage, The Vanishing of Ethan Carter, Superb Racer Forza Horizon 2, and a surprisingly brilliant Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor. If September was game release warm-up for the end of the year, October was revving the engine. There was Costume Quest 2, Lords of the Fallen, The Evil Within, Civilization Beyond Earth, WWE 2K15, and Sunset Overdrive. Super Smash Bros. Came out on the 3DS, Alien Isolation scared the crap out of us, Sony finally made good on that E3 Vib ribbon tease, but dropped the ball hard with Drive Club, a game which continued a worrying trend we saw a lot of in 2013. Like last year, 2014 saw a lot of games that were crippled by bugs on launch.
Halo, man, like there are times in my life I can define by playing all these games. Then it launched, and that online multiplayer, dude. I mean, I'll wait for hours to get into bogus matches that were lopsided, that would quit early, that would never happen, and it was just a total train wreck. And when a game launches with bugs like that, people want to say, oh, they're fixing it. And of course the developers are like, oh, we're fixing it. But until it's actually fixed, it's not fixed, and it's broken, and you can't play it, and it's not what they promised, and it's not what you spent your money for. Call it accelerated development schedules, call it over-ambitious developers, call it unforeseen technical problems. Whatever the reason, it makes that game a lesser shade of what it should be.
It wasn't all doom and gloom though. GameSpot gave its first 10 out of 10 in 4 years. The stunning Bayonetta 2 was not only one of the best games of the year, it was a reminder of just how good a year 2014 was for the Wii U. A machine that I had all but written off as a must-buy this time last year is now taking up dozens of hours of my playtime every week. I was wrong, but GameSpot news editor Justin Haywald was right all along.
So thinking about the beginning of the year, we all thought that the Wii U was going to be a failure because they didn't have any more of those third-party games. Like everyone, EA and Ubisoft just kind of kept cutting games from them. We did eventually get Watch Dogs, not the best version of that game. But Mario Kart 8, Super Smash Bros., and games like Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, like they're just such fun and unique experiences that, of course, you're not going to get on any other platform. Not only is it one of the cheaper consoles, and man, they really needed to drop the price on it, which they did, but it became one of those consoles where, for people on the fence who wanted to get a second console, like, this is the thing that helped them decide, having these really big Nintendo tentpole titles. As good as a year as this was for the Wii U, like, I'm even more excited for 2015. Like, I really can't wait to see what they have in store.
And then a wild November appears. The traditional month of holiday shopping combined with longer evenings and winter weather in the northern hemisphere means that this time of year always has the bulk of the big releases.
Too many, in fact. I'm probably going to need some help with this one. There was
Call of Duty Advanced Warfare,
Super Smash Bros., Far Cry 4,
Persona Q, Shadow of the Labyrinth. Ooh.
One more time. This war of mine. This war of mine.
Escape Dead Island.
Geometry Wars 3, Dimensions.
Can I be fake typing?
World of Warcraft. Warlords of Draenor. Draenor? What is it? Draenor. World of Warcraft. Warlords of Draenor. Should I keep saying it wrong? World of Warcraft. Warlords of Draenor.
Assassin's Creed Unity.
Halo, the Master Chief Collection.
Grand Theft Auto 5.
Oh, what about Dark Souls 2, baby? Pro Evolution Soccer 2015.
Little Big Planet 3. Hatsune Miku, Project Diva F, 2nd.
Dragon Age Inquisition.
Five Nights at Freddy's 2.
Sonic Boom.
Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire.
Binding of Isaac, Rebirth.
Assassin's Creed Rogue.
Football Manager.
2015.
Say, The Wolf Among Us Into the Land.
The Wolf Among Us.
Lego Batman 3.
Tales from the Borderlands.
One more time. The Wolf Among Us.
December saw the release of The Crew, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, Telltale's Game of Thrones, The Talos Principle, a late 9 out of 10 there. We also had a brand new game event, the PlayStation Experience, and probably the best video game awards show ever envisaged. Much respect to Jeff Keighley for pulling that one off.
So that was 2014 in video games. It turned out to be a pretty okay year in the end. There was no breakthrough masterpieces, but plenty to snack on.
Danny, what about Gamergate?
No! But it's about epics and games! Sorry, I don't know where I went there.
Oh, Danny, how's the video going?
So, to those of you who make games, and those of you who play them, happy holidays and wishing you the best in 2015.